The mentor, Yoko-san, the disappearance. A story from the winter of our third year. Back in our first year, I admired my senior and tagged along with him. In the second year, my senior began to distance himself from me, and I also stopped relentlessly following him. And then came our third year. My senior started to have less to do with me, and I began to stand on my own, only seeking my senior's advice on rare occasions. It all began when I questioned my senior's feelings for someone, or perhaps it started when I began to fear the madness that accompanied my senior. Now, I can't recall if it was one specific moment or both. No, it was probably both. I felt that my senior had moved far away from reason and sanity during that time, and I also felt an uneasy presence around him. On one such day, the source of that unease, Yoko-san, visited my house. I had given her my address, but I hadn't expected her to come, so I was quite flustered. My mom and younger brother were making a fuss, saying things like, "He's actually bringing a girl home." I rushed to the door and opened it. "Hello. Thank you. So, can I come in? It's a bit messy." Yoko-san shook her head. "It's okay. That's not it. I just need to talk to you." It seemed urgent. I noticed that her clothing was different from her usual style. It looked like she had hastily put on whatever clothes were available, giving her a somewhat mismatched appearance. Her collar was disheveled, and her collarbone was visible. It seemed like she had been quite flustered. "What's this about? A conversation?" Yoko-san gently closed her eyes and spoke as if she had made up her mind. "That person will disappear. I dreamt about it." I pedal my bicycle with Yoko-san seated in the rear. It seems like her first time on a tandem ride, as she holds onto my waist tightly. "In your dream, you mean the one about?" I inquire as we ride. "Yeah, it's probably that. I have it occasionally. You see, I can sense things that go beyond just ghosts. It's not confined to the supernatural, it involves what people see, the past, and the future. Since it's something I can't control, I can't be sure if it's truly about the future or just a dream. It depends on my feelings. While I cycle, I glance over my shoulder. Place your feet on the axle of the rear wheel. It might feel a bit awkward, but it gives good balance. So, tell me about the dream." I confirm that her feet are securely placed on the axle and then turn my attention forward. Yoko-san raises her voice a bit. "I have a dream where I go to meet that person. I walk to his room, but when I get there, there's no one inside." It's not clear. It could be just a dream, but Yoko-san sensed something unusual. I exert more force with my legs on the pedals. "Hang on tight, it's going to shake a bit." The traffic light up ahead is about to turn red. I put my weight into it, accelerating just in time. My senior will disappear. That thought feels more real than ever. It's not as if we truly understand that person. Maybe, that person has no choice but to leave us, running away of their own accord, or perhaps, running away from something else. I pedal harder, grinding my teeth, feeling like I might cry. We pass by a convenience store. Pedestrians approach from the front. Senior. We ride past the library. I squeeze the brakes with all my might. I felt the weight on my back as Yoko-san, unable to brace herself for the abrupt halt, was pushed forward. What's wrong?" Her voice reached me from behind. "That's Senior's." In the library's bike rack, there was an old road bike. A chromoly frame with distinctive diagonal scratches. It was Senior's bicycle, proudly taking up a lot of space and propped against the wall, a hand-me-down from someone. I dismounted my bicycle, and Yoko-san, unsteadily, followed suit. "My butt hurts." She fixed her disheveled hair with her hand, and we headed to the library's entrance. The "Open" sign was displayed. Yoko-san paused at the entrance. There he was. In the small waiting area near the entrance, which stored a week's worth of newspapers, a pale-faced man sat at a table, spreading out a newspaper in front of him. Without a doubt, it was Senior. Yoko-san squatted down on the spot. Thank goodness. I opened the double doors and entered. Senior noticed me and raised his hand. "Hey, what's the hurry? You seem out of breath. Is something wrong?" He was surprisingly himself, oblivious to others' emotions. I considered punching him. "No, well, Yoko-san had a dream that you would disappear, so I rushed here as quickly as possible. It seems like it was in vain, though." Yes, perhaps Yoko-san didn't know. Senior had a particular aversion to winter. While he could endure even the hottest summer weather with a nonchalant expression, he'd flee to warmer places the moment it got slightly chilly. Since Senior's apartment didn't have air conditioning, he frequently sought the warmth of public facilities, especially this library. Yoko-san's dream was about visiting Senior's apartment, where he wasn't present. In other words, he probably wouldn't have been there if she'd visited without stopping by my place since he was at the library. Oh, foretelling, huh? No, she's really amazing. I'd like to hear more. I was starting to feel quite indifferent and slumped down on the sofa across from Senior. Oh, well, sure thing. More importantly, Yoko-san is over by the entrance. She looks like she's struggling. Shouldn't you go check on her? Senior looked towards the entrance and spotted Yoko-san on the other side of the glass door. He stood up. Hey, sitting on the ground. In a skirt too. What's going on? Watching Senior walk towards the entrance, I chuckled. Right, even if Senior were to disappear, I would surely have something to say. After all, I was the one who had been closest to him for the past 3 years. I had worried too much. Even if Yoko-san had a prophetic dream, it was uncontrollable, and there was always the possibility of it being wrong. Senior was now offering some sort of explanation to Yoko-san, who was still on the ground. Seeing them like this, it was clear that Senior cared for Yoko-san. Her reaction when she believed he would disappear only emphasized her attachment to him. I couldn't help but think that those two were truly suited for each other. In my mind, I had no place. Senior helped Yoko-san stand up, then returned to where I was. Hey, you brought her here, right? Make sure to send her back properly. On your mamachari. I got up and left the library, leaving Senior to return to his newspapers. As I was about to open the door, Senior said something to me. Her predictions never miss. That's what makes them amazing. I chuckled and waved as I left. On the way back, Yoko-san seemed somewhat apologetic. It seemed she felt embarrassed about causing a fuss. Somehow, it all seemed absurd, and I couldn't help but chuckle. Yoko-san appeared a bit sulky but eventually joined in the laughter. When we arrived at Yoko-san's apartment, I dismounted my bike, fixed my hair, adjusted my clothes, and then said, "See you later." Yoko-san smiled in response. A few days later, I received the news from Yoko-san that Senior had gone missing. How was it? This story may be about precognitive dreams. Many people may not remember, but when we sleep, we often have numerous dreams, and upon waking, we tend to forget most of them. It is said that the human brain has separate areas for storing memories and retrieving memories. Many dreams are said to be forgotten because the memory retrieval function is impaired. So, if you've ever felt in reality, "I've experienced this somewhere before," you may have had a precognitive dream. If you've had such an experience, please share it in the comments. On this channel, I narrate Japanese ghost stories. If you have any other stories you would like me to introduce or any questions about the stories, please leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next episode.